This is the story, the fantastically true story, of Herbert A. Philbrick, who for 9 frightening years did lead 3 lives. Average citizen, high-level member of the Communist Party, and counter-spy for the Federal Bureau of Investigation. For obvious reasons, the names, dates, and places have been changed, but the story is based on fact. The Communist Party does not believe in Christmas, except as it can turn it to its own advantage. This is the story of an attempt by the Communists to cash in on the spirit of the Christmas season. Christmas it's gonna be. You're lucky, Philbrick. You can play Santa Claus with presents and a tree and a wonderful family, warm and secure and happy. 3 whole days, and they're all yours. Eva? Hey, everybody, I'm home. Eva! Taking the girls shopping, dinner in oven. Love, Eva. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, comrade.
Oh, hello, Jack. What can I do for you?
Herb, I want you down here right away.
Oh, not right away. Can't this wait till tomorrow, whatever it is? I promised my kids I'd help them trim their tree. It's important to them.
Well, I'm sorry, Herb, but this is important, too. To the party. We'll expect you in 20 minutes. Comrade Herb has the Christmas spirit.
And he should be delighted with his assignment. He'll be in 20 minutes?
Yes.
Good. I'll start with a telephone crew. Will you send them in?
Comrades, come in. Just find your seats anywhere. That's right. Comrades, this is Comrade Irene. She'll brief you on what we're undertaking to do and your part in it.
Right up to the 5th floor, then take the stairs down 2 floors. The Communist Party's no conspiracy. We just run up and down back stairways to keep in condition.
I see. Yes, I understand. All right, you take care of it. Hello, Comrade Herb. Merry Christmas.
Look, I'm here now. If it's all the same with you, I'd like to get this over as soon as possible, whatever it is.
Yes, I know, Herb. You want to return home and decorate your Christmas tree. Charming idea. And so very germane to the whole concept of class revolt. I must remember to commend it to our National Council in my next report.
All right, all right. My wrist has been slapped. What are my orders?
You'll get them inside.
Now?
We'll see.
Just memorize it so that when you get the phone in your hand, every phrase will come to you as though it were your own. Questions? All right, then. You may leave. By the back door.
Comrade Irene, this is Comrade Herb.
How do you do?
Apart from his duties as a loyal member of a pro-4 cell, Herb has gained some distinction as an advertising executive and a trimmer of Christmas trees.
You must tell me about that latter occupation sometime, comrade. It sounds fascinating. I happen to be in advertising myself, so we may dismiss that subject.
Yes, I know. You're the president of the Irene Clark Advertising Agency.
Yes, I am. Sit down.
Thank you.
We might as well get right down to cases, Herb. Comrade Jack has told me enough about you that I know I may speak freely. You might call what we are doing a pilot effort. In brief, this is the plan. We're going to have a crew of telephone salesmen at work within an hour. I've given them their pitch with the greatest gimmick in the world. They're asking for money to feed hungry kids on Christmas Day. Can you imagine anyone with a full stomach turning that down?
And you'll be right in the center of the whole show, Herb. You'll be in charge of the collectors.
It works this way, Herb. The telephone pitchman calls in pledges and their addresses. You'll have a half a dozen legmen calling in for leads. You break the pledges down by city areas and send the legmen to call personally to collect the pledge.
Sounds simple enough. What's the name of this drive? I suppose it has a name.
And I'm rather proud of it. All Faiths United Christmas Fund. This ties into the pitch, naturally.
Naturally.
Without saying it, the pitchman is suggesting that every church in the city is behind us.
And by the time anyone gets around to checking on that, All Faiths United will be only a fond memory.
Yeah. How much are you pitching for?
If we take in less than $100,000 between now and noon of the 25th, we're a failure.
Wow. Those pledges are going to have to be awfully steep.
Just get our collectors in the front door. With the dynamite they'll be carrying, that $100,000 is as good as in the party treasury. Any questions?
When do I start?
As soon as the telephone crew starts to score. That should be within the hour.
An hour. Well, in the meantime...
In the meantime, I'll buy your dinner. There's a drugstore downstairs. What'll it be?
You've got to get to Special Agent Jerry Dressler. But how? How are you going to do it?
What's the matter, Herb? Don't you like your sandwich?
Oh, sure. I guess I'm just not hungry.
You're not still brooding about that Christmas tree we took you away from?
Oh, no. No, I was just wondering about this pitch we've given our telephone people. It's okay, but...
But what, Herb?
Well, I guess it doesn't matter. We'll know soon enough how well it's going to work. I could be wrong. I probably am.
I'm interested. What's troubling you? Don't you like the copy?
Oh, sure. The copy's fine. It reads beautifully. And I just wonder if that's not a mistake. It rings almost too professional.
Is that bad, comrade?
Yeah, what's wrong about that?
Look, I'm outnumbered. As I said a minute ago, it doesn't matter anyway. This is just a pilot venture. I guess nobody will blame us if we stub our toe.
We are not going to stub our toes, Comrade Herb. And I'm not going to ask you to take my word for it. There's the phone right in front of you, and here's the copy. Take any 3 numbers out of the telephone book, and I'll guarantee you at least one pledge.
Oh, that's not necessary, Comrade.
It is necessary, I insist.
All right. All right, Castle. 549. Mr. Castle. Oh, this is the Reverend Mr. Agnew. I'm calling to wish you a Merry Christmas. And to tell you something about, well, what our churches are doing this holiday season.
Trace this call on special line 1334.
Now, I think you'll agree, Mr. Castle, that the day we celebrate as the birthday of our Lord should be the last one on which any child of any creed or race should know hunger. And with the help of good and generous people like yourself, we hope to see that this won't happen in our city. No matter what church may be your preference, regardless of how often you attend, I'm sure you'll want to donate something to the All Faiths United Christmas Fund.
The tracer's on. Keep him talking.
It sounds very worthwhile, Reverend. Where do you want me to send my check?
Well, you know how jammed the mails are this time of year, Mr. Castle. Well, some of our good churchmen have volunteered to call for the donations. Since the banks will be closing early tomorrow, we'd appreciate it if you could make your donation in cash.
I think you can count on me for $10, Reverend.
Thank you, Mr. Castle. Well, no donation is too small. What's your convenience, sir? When may our men call on you?
Make it tomorrow morning about 11:30. You can have someone drive by my place at 782 Front Street.
11:30. Thank you, sir.
That's quite all right, Reverend. We're glad to do it. Goodbye.
That call came from a phone in Commie headquarters.
That's very interesting. The caller introduced himself as a Reverend Mr. Agnew, but the voice was Herb Philbrick.
Well, only $99,990 to go after collecting Mr. Castle's $10. Okay, I'm sold.
The $10 only gets our foot in the door. Any man who will volunteer $10 can be boxed into giving 2 or 3 times more, which is our collector's big job.
That'll be for you, Herb.
For me?
We had this phone put in especially for the drive. Your telephone workers are starting to get action.
Hello? Oh, yeah. What was that address? 1802. And the amount pledged? Wow. Right. And that's the way it's been till a half an hour before I came home. Comrades finally agreed that maybe people would resent being dragged out of their beds at midnight for a shakedown. We're at it bright and early again tomorrow.
It just isn't what it's doing to our Christmas holiday. But the thought of those people and the money, they're just stealing.
Sure they are. And the real losers in all this are the legitimate charities, the ones that do a fine, worthy job all year. That's where this money should be going.
It makes me ill, Herb.
Me too. Well, tree looks real nice.
The girls did it all themselves this year. I didn't even straw boss the job.
No kidding. They're getting to be pretty self-sufficient little monkeys, aren't they?
They're growing up, Herb.
Yeah. Yeah, I wish I could stick around the house sometime and get acquainted with my kids. They must be real lovely people if they take after their mother.
Come on, Herb. It's been a long day.
No, I can't, honey. I gotta meet Jerry Dressler in a half an hour.
But, Herb, it's after midnight.
I know. I'm sorry it's gotta be this way. Stand where you are. Mistletoe.
Merry Christmas, Herb.
Yeah. Merry Christmas. To making a dishonest dollar for the party, you have to get up pretty early to please the comrades.
Hello, Herbert. Hi. Just a minute. You look tired. Didn't you get any sleep after we broke last night?
All of 3 hours. Well, didn't take you long to get set up.
After our talk last night, I decided we'd better move fast. While Santa Claus still has his whiskers. You're right below us here. With that microphone set up, we can hear you breathe down there.
Huh?
You're late for work, Herb. I can hear your boss growling about it.
Yeah, he's right. I'm due down there.
Here's a list of addresses I promised you, Herb. These people will be standing by, ready to say the right thing when you call on them. The legitimate names we get from downstairs, I'll call on myself. And here's a tricked-up bank book in case you can get a chance to use it. I frankly wish there was another way to do this, Herb. I mean, a simpler method, like notifying the local police about this racket.
Well, as we agreed last night, I'd just as soon not go to jail with these people.
Good luck, Herb. Don't let them catch you dealing off the bottom of the deck. What are they doing now?
Counting last night's take.
Over $9,000. And just for a couple of hours' work.
Maybe I was too modest when I estimated we'd taken 100,000.
I knew it had to be you, Herb. We've been anticipating your arrival for several minutes now.
I'm sorry if I'm late. If I missed any calls?
Not many.
That's no excuse as far as you're concerned.
Hello? All right, let's have them. Thelma Richardson, 1185 Holly Street.
Selma Richardson? Now, this is a police officer, Miss Richardson. Have you been contacted by a man calling himself Reverend Agnew? You have? He wanted money? I see. Well, we've picked him up on a bunco charge, Miss Richardson. And we found your name on a list in his room. No, ma'am, he's not a minister. Thank you. What was that name again? Oh, yes. And the address?
Bad news.
Something wrong?
Plenty.
Right.
What happened?
I saw every collector. The same story. All of a sudden, doors are being slammed in their faces before they can even get their foot in. No explanation, just bang.
I don't understand.
Doesn't sound like the good old Christmas spirit to me. Do you believe them, the collectors?
What are you driving at?
Well, I was just wondering. They might be going into business for themselves.
They're all good party members.
Even good party members have been known to deviate.
These collectors were handpicked. You told me.
Yes, and I'll stand by them.
Now, wait a minute, old man. Nobody's blaming you. These men are handling cash, lots of it. Who knows what they collect and what they don't collect?
This is all conjecture, and I resent it.
One thing that isn't conjecture, comrade. We're out several $1,000s that you didn't bring back with you.
You're right, comrade. But let's be reasonable. The men could be telling the truth. Now, I don't know why people are slamming doors in their faces, but that shouldn't be too hard for us to check out. I've still got the list of pledges here. How about checking a few at random?
A good idea, Herb.
I got my car out on the lot. I'll drive you.
What about the phone?
You handle it.
Why so pensive, comrade? You're not beginning to lose faith in world revolution this easily, simply because you're getting the treatment prescribed by FBI agent Dressler? Or don't you like the people Dressler arranged for you to meet? This one, too?
I hadn't talked to these people myself. I'd never believed it. Every stop we've made is the same story. The collector called on them. They gave him money.
It's fantastic.
I think we better go back to the office and have a meeting with these gentlemen.
They're so well organized. There must be one of them who's the leader. I wonder which one.
Oh, comrade Jack, better than I do. Is he capable of this kind of treachery?
Oh, I wouldn't want to say.
He did select these men himself, and he was certainly shrill in their defense.
I don't want to make too much of that.
Drive me back to the office.
When this girl swallows the bait, she really runs with it. Maybe we'd better take in a little slack, Philbrick, before she fouls the line. Just a minute, comrade. Yeah, I've been wondering, will it do any good just to go into the office and accuse Comrade Jack of treachery? Won't he just deny it?
What do you suggest we do?
I don't really know. I just wish there was some way of getting him out of that office for a few minutes.
Why don't I go up another floor and give you about 10 minutes with Jack? Tell him you don't know what I found out, that you dropped me at my hotel.
Well, that'd accomplish.
If Jack's in this swindle, he knows what I found out. And he'll also know why I stopped at the hotel instead of coming back here. He'll be afraid I'm contacting the secret police. Frankly, I expect him to break his neck getting over to the hotel to stop me.
That's a good idea.
At least it'll give us some indication of how deep he's in this.
Good.
In 10 minutes, then.
Sometimes, Philbrick, a little training in conspiracy can be a good thing. It all depends on how you use it.
Well, where's Comrade Irene?
She asked me to drop her off at her hotel. She's pretty upset at the way this campaign has folded on us.
Was she quitting?
And she didn't say.
You're a big help. I'd better call her and see what she wants us to do.
If I were you, I'd drop over to the hotel myself. Have a talk with her. You know how women are, and she's awfully upset.
Yeah. Good idea.
You can come in, Irene. Mac's gone. Took off like a scared rabbit. Even left his coat and hat behind.
Then we were right.
Looks that way. Look what I found while I was waiting for you. It was over there. Must have dropped out of his pocket.
$4,673. About what we would have figured for the morning collection.
That's right.
Wait until certain parties see this. They'll know how to deal with Comrade.
Comrade, I think we better put this back exactly where I found it.
But why? It's evidence.
I know, but there's one thing that's more important than convicting Comrade Jack before the party's secret police. That's getting you out of town alive.
Oh, you're not serious.
You bet I'm serious. Look, Comrade Jack is the top man in this area. If you should suddenly lean too far out a window watching the Santa Claus parade or step accidentally in front of a speeding car, he'd be in the clear, wouldn't he? Now, so far, we're a few steps ahead of him. When he goes to your hotel and finds you're gone, he'll come here. Sooner or later, he's going to miss this, and then he's going to put two and two together. That makes it a game of life and death. Your death. There. At least we can hope to keep him guessing long enough to get you on a train. I'll take you to one of the suburban stations. It'd be too dangerous downtown.
But wait a minute, Herb. What about you?
Oh, I'm just in a position of taking orders.
He might not believe you.
Well, that's a chance we'll have to take. Do you know where the money's kept?
Yes. I'd better check that, too. Well, apparently he hasn't had time to steal this yet.
Come on, let's go. Place for you while you're waiting for the train. I'll get your ticket. What's that number?
Whitehead 1031.
Whitehead 1031. Whitehead 1031. I'll call you from another booth if it looks like trouble. I'll stay here. As usual, the FBI is right on schedule. So is Comrade Irene's train. Better get moving. Wouldn't want her to miss it. Irene, I don't know how they got here so fast. Yeah, two of them. Well, you might be able to see them if you look out toward the front. You see them, don't you? Those two by the bench?
Yes, I do.
They're Jack's goons. Yeah, I spotted them the second they came in, but I don't think they recognized me.
What am I going to do?
Well, we've got to get you on your train. Now, look, you've never seen those two men before, have you?
No.
Oh, well, then it's a fair chance they've never seen you before either. Yeah, now they're probably here on orders to look for a woman carrying a briefcase. Somebody of your general description. It's a chance, but without that briefcase, you might be able to walk right past them.
But if they do recognize me...
Well, you can always yell police. I think it's worth the chance. If you're not on that train, we're really in trouble. Now, just walk past this booth, and I'll hand you your train ticket. Here's your ticket. And get rid of that briefcase. Better see if she makes it.
Conspiracy, at least they can't say we didn't try. Did you get on the train all right?
Yeah. Just one thing. What happens when she tells the top brass what happened to her big charity scheme?
One of two things. They believe her, and make it mighty rough on Comrade Jack, or they drum her out of the party as a dangerous neurotic. Either way, Herb, I don't see how we could lose. Merry Christmas, Herb.
Merry Christmas, Jerry.
And,
Merry Christmas to you, too.